Bud, what we're doing tonight is going over this little guy. So this is a little find. It's a homegrown, well, not, I shouldn't say homegrown. It's a aftermarket Architect Nib that you can buy. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick it up. It's a fine, so there's not much Architect going on, but you can see it a little bit there. So I have another pen in the mail. It's going to be a while with all the Christmas orders going on, but this arrived first. This nib's intended for a different pen, which we'll be posting a video hopefully sometime soon. But this is a great donor pen, by the way. This is my Marta Modena Dolce Vita Federico. As you can see, it doesn't have the Marta Modena nib in it. It's got the Leonardo. And it's so easy to swap out. You just pop it out. And I thought if there's one pen that this nib could go into pretty darn easy, it's this guy, and it is. So this nib fits on here real nice. Whoops. Let me get it right here. So it's a flat spot. There we go. And we're in business, and it feels pretty good. It's a little, slides out a little bit, but I think for what we're going to try to do here, it works out pretty good. So I'm just trying to read any badging. It just says Iridium Point. And then let me try to get the focus. Oh, that's better. This is Iridium Point. Just some little scroll work on there. I have not used this. This is the first time, so maybe this will be a fail. I don't know. But let's find out. So we'll ink it up. That's just my pen body rolling away. I really like this ink. I don't have endless inks. So I thought, oh, maybe I could do a new ink, but I know some folks just have so many inks to choose from all the time. I don't. I don't really buy pens or inks that I don't feel I'm not going to use on a fairly regular basis. I even have a bunch of inks like Apache Sunset. I've used it a few times here or there, but I just don't use it on a regular basis. So I don't buy too much stuff unless I feel like I'm actually going to use that fairly frequently. But I know a lot of folks like to just have a whole bunch of options, which is totally fine as well. I think my hands are all over in front of this camera. Hopefully this isn't terrible. Okay. Your guess is as good as mine. Let's see how this goes. So this is, it should be thin, wider downstrokes. Is that right? Yes, Architect is, wait a second, opposite of stub. So wider cross strokes, thinner downstrokes. There we go. I had it backwards. So it's definitely got some of that. I'd say we got a little bit of architectness going on there. So I'll maybe I will, maybe I won't. I try my best, but I forget all the time. I'll try to post a link to this in the description. I just found it on, I believe it was Etsy. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like Bob's Nib, Architect Nib, or Roberts, or just like someone's name and then the Architect Nib. But look in the description, it'll be there. And, Canadian exchange rate. But I paid, Canadian dollars, like 16 bucks. Like, that's so cheap. You can't get a nib, ship it somewhere, and then get the work done and get it back for anywhere near that price. So I thought, for $16, how can I not try this? And yeah, you can see it there in the profile. This is as new to me as it is to you. So far, I'm pretty happy with this. How is it for writing? I don't know if I like that as much with my handwriting. I do like it with the, I'm just trying to see if the nibs, no, it's not falling out. Just trying to see, I don't have the best cursive as it is. I'm just trying to see what I like better. I think this is a great, as I talk about too, for Architect grinds, there are better just for printing. I don't know what else to print. I should prepare a quote beforehand. So yeah, you really got to get, I think, hold it up and down. I always write at a bit of an angle. So, if you're doing your writing. I don't see too much of a line variation as much with the writing. I find it just makes it a little bit blockier. If you can see that with the writing, it's a little bit more blocky. But definitely with the printing, if you're getting good at holding this up and down, or this is angled. Yeah, so you seem to get the most line variation if you hold it pretty much straight up and down. Let's just compare this with, I think this has River Fire as well. So this is a TWSBI. Just so we have a comparison, because I can show you line variation, but unless you know what we're going against, you have no idea. This is my M805. It's got an extra fine. I got lots of fine pens. This is a Ondoro. Here is my Mont Blanc 149. So this is a fine metallic. And then we'll just wrap it up with, again, I can't remember the brand name or anything at all. I'll put the link in the description. I should have been prepared before I did the video, but whatever. So this is a question mark. Fine Architect. So yeah, I would say it's actually fairly close to my fine italic, just the opposite way around. You could, right? Thicker cross strokes. I would put it a little bit fatter than, say, the M805 as far as line size and that, but it's a comfortable line. It's definitely not, you know, like a medium, but yeah, for 16 bucks, if you got a pen that you wanted to try out an Architect grind, and you maybe want to find one, a fine Architect Nib, and you know, for $6, I don't know every pen this is going to fit. So I'm assuming this will fit a Leonardo, because this takes a Leonardo pen. Sorry, this pen takes a Leonardo nib, so I'm assuming the Leonardo would take this nib. Just kind of makes sense. So any pens that you know of that can take Leonardo nibs would most likely, don't hold me to it, take one of these bad boys. And probably a bunch of other pens as well. Tough to say, right? But it's a number 6. Fits great in this pen. And I'd say it's a keeper. It's relatively smooth. I don't know, how scratchy is it? Let's see if I can find any. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Doesn't feel scratchy at all. It's got nice flow. I mean, that's a function of the ink and the feed as well, but I'd say that's a win for 16 bucks. Can modify any pen that will take it, and all of a sudden you can have an italic nib in it. So that's kind of fun. That's one thing I like with pens, is instead of having, you know, the same pen and multiple different grinds, well, nibs I should say, but it's really nice to be able to have, you know, one pen or a couple pens that can take multiple different nibs, and that way you get to expand your collection without having to dump as much cash as well, and have all sorts of cool writing experiences. So anyways, as always, like, comment, subscribe. I try to get back to all the comments as best I can, and that's it for now. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.